Welcome! It's the Glitter Boom Girls Show. I'm Robbie-Ann McPherson on the East Coast in New York, and out in California
is Amy Asbury. Hello, everybody.
We have a multimedia show for you today. We are talking about what used to be in the 70s and 80s. What was on your dressing table and what was in your bathroom cabinets? What was in your shower? You know, all the personal care products that you used. Some makeup and, body splash. Remember? Body splash? Not body spray, because now we have body spray, but body splash.
How were you supposed to make that happen? Were you supposed to just
in the
throw it up in the air and walk through it?
No, in the commercials, they would like violently throw it in your hands and then you would throw it all over you. So
was it supposed to be rigorous?
Yeah. I'm not sure what I don't know exactly how it worked, but Amy and I were kind of talking right before we started recording, and I think mine are going to be a little different than yours, right, Aim? Because I'm a little bit older, so I'm more about the stuff in the 70s, and I think in the 80s, the whole like preteen and teenage girl personal care items, I think they stepped up, right?
Not at all. I think the ingredients stayed the same, and I think the packaging stepped up.
Oh, the packaging. Yeah. Well, and you are the packaging queen, so I'm going to adjust my mic here too.
The ingredients were terrible.
I know. Who knows what's
awful. There was a lot of like designer imposters. And I just
the
sprayed,
aerosol.
I sprayed so much of that stuff on myself. I didn't realize a little squirt, the whole like on your wrists.
Like a dabble, do ya?
No clue.
Yeah. So I'm going to kick off with actually a men's cologne commercial that I have to play, because I knew it was Christmas time when this commercial would start running on TV, and it was for a men's cologne called British Sterling. And if you're, of a certain age and you're a child of the 70s, you had to see this ad on TV. It's really dramatic. The woman is like running through the snow on a horse. Like this horse is galloping in slow motion.
Always a horse.
And she has like this white cloak with a hood. And then this is what's going on in the background. Give him British Sterling. Like it's English and regal, and
you want to be with him. Be with him every day with British Sterling. Generously masculine. He'll love it. You'll love it on him. We'll even inscribe his initials exclusively on British Sterling. Give him British Sterling aftershave and cologne, the legendary fragrance.
Did they say they would inscribe his initials?
Yeah. If you ordered, a thing of British Sterling, because it was only available, well, I don't know. I don't know where it was.
I didn't realize it was so fancy.
But yeah, you would get like for your dad, you'd get like his initials, or your beau, his initials carved in it. And so this is the direction we're going today, because we, in our multimedia extravaganza, we're actually going to dig up some of these things on YouTube. And I wore, when I was a kid, I actually wore a perfume called Charlie, which I think it went through a few incarnations. And Aim, I believe you have the Charlie commercial somewhere.
Are you ready
in there.
for this?
Yeah, lay it on us.
Hear it. By Revlon.
It's so jaunty.
Wow.
Kinda young, kinda now. Charlie, kinda great, kinda wow.
Wow. It's Shelley Hack is what it is.
Yeah, that was Shelley. And was she like wearing the the slacks and like just walk in.
She was like a working woman. She was out
yeah.
at a bar after work. She got out of like a limo and she was like, I'm one of the guys.
And when she's spraying it all over herself.
She was. And you know what's a really funny contrast to that is 1977 Love's Baby Soft.
Oh,
I
yeah.
will play the audio, but the funny thing, you can't see it, but if you'd like to look it up, and if not, I'll just tell you, they're showing women being overbearing toward these men, and then they're showing them soften up and how that works a little bit.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, it's so bad, you guys.
I wore that later. Oh, my God.
Harry! Hi, Harry. So wrong.
Soft will get him every time.
Just be very, very submissive and very beta, and that works every time.
No wonder, I grew up like I did. I did wear Love's Baby Soft, but I actually wore it a lot later. I wore it in high school and like junior, senior, so 84, 85. I wore it right around then. And
did it smell like baby powder? I can't remember what it smelled like.
It had a baby powder note to it. Like the base note was
the tannins?
Was baby powder. Yeah. And then, it had like an after note too that was kind of maybe a little vanilla or something. But
yeah.
Yeah, like the major, I mean a guy probably thinks it smells just like baby powder because it did have it smelled like just sweet and very, like I would never wear it now as a grown woman.
I feel like now it would smell like a nursing home or something, No,
it was nicer than that. It was actually a nice scent. I liked it. I mean, I wouldn't mind getting some now and smelling it just for like the nostalgia trip. Like, how powerful smells are when, to like take you back. Like what are some smells that just like launch you into, an astral plane back to some time?
I'm going to say, I guess the soaps, certain soap, Dial, we always had like this bar soap.
Yeah.
We had Dial and we had, what kind of, if I smell Dove, sometimes I think of my grandmother's house, just certain soaps, I guess. And then the smell of Aquanet, of course. We all haven't smelled that in a while. So if I smell it again, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
It smells like 80s.
Aquanet. There was an old Avon perfume called Foxfire that my mom used to wear. Yeah. And they don't make it anymore, but oh my God, if I ever smelled that, it would take me back to her, like getting ready for her sales job that she had for a while. Like it had like a whiskey-ish smell. It was very musky, very, very musky. I don't mean whiskey like alcoholic, but it was just sort of a spicy, musky kind of a scent. And it came in like this like weird glass bottle, and it was like Foxfire. Like the font.
Did it have like an accompanying powder puff and powder also, or no?
Yeah, you could get the whole realm. Mom only had the perfume. Mom was not into layering scents. I started layering scents in late high school when the Body Shop. Remember, how the Body Shop, because you'd go in there and they would have the body spray, they would have the shower gel, and then they would have the lotion. And I was always, picking up some scent in there. I smelled like a fruit bowl, I think, for most of my high school years. And there was a little, okay, you tell me about one, because I'm going to look up another commercial. But like okay, you're in 7th grade. What's in your shower? What are you cleansing with?
In 7th grade, what was I cleansing with in 7th grade? I don't know. What my mother would buy some kind of bar soap, and I think we had Finesse conditioner or Silkience. There was one called Silkians.
That had a nice font. Silkians.
It did. It had a nice
it was like
font.
A cursive.
And then in high school, there was like salon selectives. There was like number 1 and number 4. 4 was for curly and number 1 was for fine. You know, you had to, I think we talked about this before. I don't know. But anyway, you had to like kind of get together the correct numbers and code for your hair. You know, your shampoo would be a 7 and
that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah. And then your conditioner would be like an H, but you felt all cool. Like it was personalized experience for you. And you were bringing the salon home to the shower. But I do remember, so in 7th grade, I had these, I didn't understand what a designer imposter, I didn't realize that was kind of derogatory. Imposter. I didn't realize it was a knockoff of something better. So I just, like I said, I sprayed a lot of that. It was called Primo, and it was a knockoff Giorgio, and it was like this bright yellow can with these, you know, zebra thingies on it. It was just very 85, and boy did I smell. And after that, I would say in high school, I loved the packaging and the marketing campaign of a perfume by Coty called Exclamation. It was round.
I know. Yeah, the black and white.
White.
Yeah.
Black and white, and it had a little exclamation mark. And I tried to will myself to like the scent because I loved the bottle, and the scent was like, didn't love the scent. I still wore it all the time because I loved the bottle. I had issues. And then somebody gave me some Halston in high school, and I actually really quite liked that.
Oh, so you upgraded.
Yes.
In my shower, I didn't have my own stuff. I just used what was in there.
Okay, that's what I'm feeling like too.
Yeah, like when I was in junior high and high school, I was not in charge of my own. I think I would buy my own hairspray.
Yes.
Because, you know, like a friend, I would see them with certain hairspray or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, I remember at some point in junior high, though, demanding that my mom get me some Gee, Your Hair Smells Terrific. Because a friend of mine wore it, and all the boys loved how her hair smelled.
Wait, did they really? Or that wasn't just a commercial? They actually really liked it?
Yeah. No, the boys, yeah, it was heavily perfumed, and it did smell good.
Wow.
It was nice.
Okay.
And actually, I want to amend that. It was like 6th grade, I think.
Okay.
And
okay.
I begged her for it, and she did give it to me. So she got it, you know, at a grocery trip or whatever. So I used that, but everything else was like, you know, whatever random Christmas gift or something. And one year, I think it was 1980, somebody gave me a bottle of this jean cologne, like blue jeans or something from the 70s.
Okay.
And I just thought it was so grown up because it was like cologne.
Wow.
You know, it was that was really the first kind of like cologne I wore. And then I wore like I would just use my mom's Charlie or whatever. Or when I was a little kid, it wasn't like a regular thing. Like I would wear Charlie if I was pretending or something. But something else. Do you remember Body on Tap shampoo?
I do.
Yeah, so this was a shampoo that claimed to be made from beer. And and here is I think this is Kim Basinger in this ad.
Clean. I mean really clean. And it holds any set I want.
New beer-enriched shampoo, Body on Tap, gives your hair super body, super hold.
Brewed with 1/3 real beer.
Wow.
But don't drink it. Just shampoo. Whether I roll it, pin it, curl it, or blow it dry. It gives my hair super body, super hold.
And the shine of your life. It's the beer shampoo that does it in 3 body milk.
The shine of your life.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You know what I do remember now? And I'm seeing it here on YouTube, you guys. Wella Balsam.
Oh, that's the stuff that Farrah did, right?
I don't know, but here's one from Brooke Shields. Listen really quick.
Make your hair come alive.
She's throwing her hair. She's slow-mowing her bouncy hair.
I love Wella Balsam because it makes your hair come alive with shine, with that strong, healthy look.
It's just slow-mo of her hair, shaking that hair.
Hair takes a real beating. So Wella Balsam brings it
And of course the music's way too loud. Bad production. All right, I'm turning it off, guys. But yeah, Wella Balsam. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So all right, so but now let's talk makeup. When did you first start wearing makeup?
In 6th grade, I said, Mother, I've got to wear blue eyeliner. Everyone's wearing blue eyeliner. I was 11. She said, go for it.
Now you're talking neon blue, right? Not like a navy
blue. 1985. The brightest blue.
And this was a ring all around your eyes or the inner rim?
Just the bottom. I didn't even know how to do the top.
Oh, okay.
And then it would like kind of, smear down. It was the worst makeup. And then I had Wet n Wild, real powdery lavender that I would just put across my whole lid. I had untamed eyebrows and like that blue on the bottom, the lavender lid. And then for my foundation, I covered my entire face in tinted Clearasil. Not just a little dot, like they tell you. The whole face was just a mask of tinted Clearasil. It was awesome. Yeah. What about you?
I did not delve into foundation until I was in college because I had freckles. So if you wore, I still do, but if you wore foundation when you were a kid and you had freckles, like it was too weird. Plus I got lucky. I had good skin. Like I never went through a bad teenage acne period, but I did. I was super into mascara. Like I wore a shit ton of mascara, and I got into eyeshadows probably in like 8th grade, I think. Because a friend of mine that lived down the street, she and I would go every summer, like in August or whatever, and we'd go to the drugstore and buy our new eyeshadow palette and, some kind of blusher for the year.
First of all, what brand of mascara?
It was always either CoverGirl or Maybelline. One of the two.
Was it Great Lash or, do you remember?
Oh yeah, it was Great Lash. It was total Great Lash. Of course. Pink and blue, pink and green. And I always got the purpley brown palette for eyeshadow, and then some kind of blusher. But I was using like the brush that came with it. So the little tiny brush. Like I had no clue about.
Was this
anything.
CoverGirl or Maybelline or what?
The blusher was either or. I don't know. I think I didn't really.
Revlon was decent. I feel like the pigment on Revlon was probably the best.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that. Like I just kind of was like, okay, here. Like I had no. The only thing I was brand loyal to at the time was the green and pink. The Great Lash. But that is a classic mascara. Like I every once in a while I still use it, It gives you great black, like a true black on your eyes, and I still love tons of mascara.
A really good eyeshadow back then, and it was sometimes not at every drugstore, but it was called Aziza, and they had really pigmented eyeshadows, and they were very well done where you were like, I could actually see the color of this eyeshadow.
I forgot about Aziza until you just said it just
great.
Now. Like, oh my God, I had a total flash. Like, oh my God, wow.
And then these little pots of lip gloss called Rachel Perry. And there was like this pineapple, and then there was a melon, and there was these little pots of lip gloss.
Were those the little tins?
The little tins were the lip lickers by Village, I think.
And they had like this Victorian-y...
You had like old-timey print.
Yeah.
And there were these sliding tins so that they've redone now, and they look almost exactly the same. But there was like the strawberry was the classic. And then, they went on to like pina colada and root beer. There's always a root beer. And then there was Kissing Potion,
those. I totally loved those tins because I thought they were so cool. But my mother wouldn't let me have them because she would always say, you put your fingers in there and there's bacteria. So she would only get me the Bonne Bell lip smackers, which I loved. I loved the Bonne Bell.
You call them Bonne Bell?
That's what we called them. Yeah, Bonne Bell.
How cute. I always call them Bonnie Bell, but I don't really know. I don't know what they're actually really called.
You know what? I don't know.
Maybe
I
it is
only
Bonne
learned like
Bell.
2 years ago that it's Balmain, not Balmain. So
Balmain.
don't look to me for.
Don't worry. Do you say Yves Saint Laurent or do you say
Yves Saint Laurent? No, I get Yves Saint Laurent, and I know it's Ralph Lauren, not Ralph Lauren.
We could say it however we want. Depends on what country you're in.
Yeah,
you don't have to
Bonne
say
Bell.
it.
I don't know. Is it Bonnie Bell? I don't know.
I
You
really
guys,
don't know.
what do you guys think? Like, hit us up on
I
Twitter.
remember
Glitter Bee
I
Girls.
had my favorite lipstick, and I did only get it maybe once or twice. My mother got me Revlon Pink Foil, and it was this silvery, frosty pink that you wore with your blue eyeliner.
But you had lipstick.
It was actual lipstick.
That's some growed up shit right there.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like I mean, I never graduated from lip gloss until gosh, I think I was in college. And then it was all about like the Madonna red lip, back then, but I was always, I don't know, I didn't really wear a whole lot of makeup. And the hair products, I remember using that green or that I can't say colors anymore. I'm color dyslexic. The purple, it smells like grape. That Australian
Aussie scrunch spray.
Yeah, that Aussie scrunch spray.
Oh, that's still around. That's like 90s, 2000s. So many people still use that.
The smell though used to give me a migraine. It was like this really
weird do it.
Grape, like powerful grape smell. And it really walked into the room before you did, like if you're wearing it on your hair.
My grandmother bought us some Avon powders one year, and I got pearls and lace. And I thought it was, again, I like the package. I was like, ooh, I like this bubble, this font, and it did not smell good, but I still put it on. Ooh, I like this font. I like this package.
Wasn't it everyone's grandma who bought you the Avon stuff?
Everyone's grandma.
Right?
Yes.
Like it wasn't your aunt or your mom. It was your grandma. Your grandma, because your grandma had an Avon lady.
Correct.
Right? And yeah, my Oma did.
When you looked at her products, she always had La Femme. She had this super pigmented La Femme. You got them at a beauty supply, not a drugstore. But they were a perfect circle, and they had a little powder pad. And the black La Femme, I mean, this was like theater stage paint. It was, the rouge was, she'd have cream rouge every once in a while where you're like, whoa. It was crazy.
Was it like the round cake where you would dot it on, or was it in the tube where you'd put it on your fingers and then pat it on with two fingers? My mom had the tube stuff. And you know what? My mom, for a short time, sold Mary Kay.
Why?
Yeah. And so we, and they get the big, you have, I mean, that's part of the whole Mary Kay deal. You have to spend all this money and you get this big sample thing, right? And then you have to go out and try to hawk it. And the products were great though. Like she had a moisturizer, Mary Kay, that I loved. And there were a couple of really nice lipstick pigments and stuff. I mean, the makeup was actually really, really nice. I never tried the foundation or anything. And I was pretty big into concealer.
I loved concealer.
Yeah, I was always using the tube, it's like a lipstick tube, but it's concealer. I used that kind of heavy stuff because I always sort of had shadows under my eyes. So I thought, that I was really rocking some glamour look with the.
I had such
cake
white
concealer.
Yeah, I looked like such a raccoon. I had the whitest concealer that was always the wrong color. It was always like 5 shades too light. So bad. And then you know what? Every once in a while, I think it was Almay. I don't remember the brand, but at the drugstore which we would walk to, so we were always there. It was like, find your color. Pick your eye color, pick your skin color, and pick your hair color, and we'll tell you the shade of lipstick. And then I would get, there wasn't one for me because I had like dark skin, dark hair, and light eyes. So I was like, I don't get to wear lipstick. But yeah, it would tell you like there's only 4 people in the world. Here's what you.
Nothing matched me because I was fair with freckles and reddish brown hair, and it was like all they ever wanted me to wear was like orangey tinted lipstick and like brownish blushy. Everything was like brown. It was not that easy to find stuff that looked good. And I remember actually when I was a senior in high school, I had the female lead in the musical.
Ooh, what musical?
It's George M. I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy. And yeah, it was really cool. And I learned to tap dance and everything. Well, typically, as went I, I got a sty.
Is it throbbing and like moving?
Like the week before we opened, like my eye was like swollen and half shut.
Stressed out.
So there was a big to-do amongst all the moms who ran the hair and makeup committee, because it was like, well, we can't share, Robbie's makeup with the other kids because they're all going to come out with styes, So they had to, it was a big to do, and they had to go and get a whole separate pile of makeup. And then, I mean, it was such a nightmare because like I'm 16 years old, and I'm already insecure, and I don't weigh what I want to weigh. I don't look like I want to look. And, I'm just all insecure anyway. And I'm nervous about the show and blah, blah, blah. And they're all looking at me like, picture, I'm sitting in this chair and there's like 5, PTA moms kind of, all staring at me, and all their heads are like looming in close to my face. And they're all just like, I don't know. How do we do it? Like, they had to figure out a way to put the makeup on so that it normalized. So I didn't look like I had like one eye shut, with the big swollen thing. Like, oh man, it was so brutal. But it was such how my life works. Like, I'm not the sporty pretty girl where everything's perfect and like she steps out on stage and everyone's like, oh my God, what an angel. It was like, I step out on stage and they're like, what's wrong with her eye? So that was my, and I don't know how I got it. I don't know what happened, but luckily it went away fairly quickly though. So I think we did 2 weekends, and I think the second weekend I had a normal 2 eyes.
I'm very glad to hear that.
But yeah, that was brutal. It was like,
you know what's kind of interesting to me is the progression of the makeup look. I feel like in the 70s, tell me if I'm wrong, the brows were super plucked.
Yeah.
The lip was glossy and there was a lot of blush.
Yeah, and it was a streak. Like the blush was like, it was orangey. There were blush in the 70s was not really pink. Your eyebrows were overplucked. And and there was heavy gloss. No matte lipstick. It was all about the gloss. And
I kind of like the gloss better though.
Yeah.
Is it me, or when it started to turn into the 80s, 79, 80, Pat Benatar, it became a dark burgundy lip, dark blush, kind of the black bangs and the shaggy. I feel like a lot of makeup, a ton of eyeshadow, bigger eyebrow. Well, bigger eyebrow came in maybe 81, 82. I don't know, maybe with Brooke Shields. But do you feel like the face suddenly became very heavy with makeup?
Yeah, I agree. I think it shifted because, you went from the 60s, for example, where you're still, even in the early 70s, they had
very frosty.
Yeah, but it was very heavy, like, heavy lids, and the hair was like big and
severe, very severe.
And like piled up in a foot, and all this stuff. And you had dark lipsticks and things like that. And then it moves a little bit forward, or I should say heavy lipstick. Because yeah, you're right. Like some of the lipstick was kind of a frosty pink,
and a lot of it was very matte pink, almost white, but it was very heavy and thick.
Yeah, like that Twiggy look, right? Mm-hmm. With the heavy eyes. And then you move forward a little bit in the 70s, and disco comes around, and you get this kind of blues and pinks and a little bit glitter. Yeah, it was a much more colorful, instead of severe. It was a little more blended, I think, but the lipstick became gloss instead of like lipstick. It was a lot of, and if you
But it
had
was like
lipstick, you
a
put gloss
red
over it.
gloss, so I feel like it was a berry, lots of berry colors, like very glossy.
Yeah, I think so. But there was a look too, like the evening look was dramatic.
Oh, that's
with
true.
like
That's
dark.
true.
Yeah, you'd have like the dark burgundy lipstick. Oh, McLickens is here.
McLickens, I do recall also some of these eyeshadow palettes in the 80s with here's for the lid. And then there's 3 different colors for
It's
above
like
your
shaped
lid.
like an eye.
Green, yellow, and red with purple. And you're like, oh, really?
Yeah.
The inner corner gets the yellow, and right above my pupil gets the green, and you're like, wait a second, really? And a lot of those, there was a brand called Maxi, and they had these little to go, and there's an ad of a woman like holding a bunch of them, like little drink stirrers or little cards, but they were
I don't
just little single
remember
eyeshadows.
Maxi.
Oh yeah, you gotta look it up. It's Maxi, and it's
Yeah.
written in like a scribble. But I always got it mixed up with Max Factor, which, by the way, they had a great pigments, Max Factor, by the way.
Yeah, they did.
Loved that pancake. But anyway,
They did.
yeah, the eyeshadow palettes, so funny because you're like, really, 5 colors on my eye? Like, okay.
But it's funny if you watch, like on YouTube, I watch a lot of these makeup girls and stuff, because it's a great artistry that I just
It
have
really
no clue
is.
how to
It
do.
really is.
But they will do that. They will blend like 5 shades, and it ends up looking like a neutral thing, right? But it took like 5 shades to get there. And I just think, my God, when I was in school, if you couldn't apply it in like 2 sweeps with the little sponge applicator that came with it, I didn't know what to do. So
Well,
I wonder.
I think that looks good when they actually blend it, but I feel like we had, red at the corner, blue, and then yellow, and then a green lid. I feel like it was the most bizarre color combinations for a second there. And I would say between 84 and 87, they were throwing out colors that had no business being on our face. It made no sense at all.
You know what we need to talk about
What's
too? Not, to pivot here, but we need to talk about powder. Baby powder and shower to shower. Did you guys have that?
Shower to shower, yes.
Yeah, and
I still smell it. It was kind of tart.
yeah, exactly. It was like it was pungent. It was a pungent scent. It smelled fresh and clean, but it was a pungent type scent. And then talcum powder, of course, baby powder. And then Gold Bond, like foot powder, like
my dad had that for his
jacket.
jacket.
Exactly. Your dad had that. My dad had that too. But it's a nowadays you're not supposed to use talc, right? Now you're supposed to use cornstarch.
Now it's like, did you use talc? There is a lawsuit pending.
There's all those
class
personal
action.
injury lawyers. Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but I don't know. I wasn't really a baby powder. I wasn't a powder person.
Quite a bit of baby powder for a different reason than you might think. When we played Land of the Lost in my hallway, when the Slee Stack came out, I used it for smoke. I would just like boof, 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 boof. I'd pump it.
Yeah.
My whole hallway would just started getting smoky. And then we bring in like the pylon, is that what it's called? Or whatever. The Slee Stacks would come in, Or anytime we did a show where we needed to be like disco-y and there needed to be smoke.
God, I had full-on nightmares about Slee Stacks.
They're so scary.
They
but anyway,
were really
I used
scary.
the baby powder for Land of the Lost and other such shows. Other than that, I didn't really use it.
And then what about mouthwash? Because my mom would only buy Listerine, and like the yellow Listerine, because it was, and it would like, I mean, it was like acid, like it just burned your mouth out.
Makes your eyes water. It's so strong.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big like nostalgia trigger for me. If someone has like oh, there goes McLickens. If someone has that yellow Listerine, the smell of it, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm 8 years old, and I'm in my little bathroom, and I'm brushing my teeth, and I'm trying to swish it around in my mouth as long as I can, like as long as I can
And it's
bear it.
just
'Cause
eating
it's
your
like,
mouth away.
yeah, it's like burning a hole in
Eating
my
your
head.
gums off your body.
Right. Just like, Yeah, that was brutal stuff.
I use to this day Seabreeze, the yellow formula, and it looks kind of like urine. I'm sorry to say, but it's Seabreeze. It's antiseptic. It had the little sailboat on the front.
They still make Seabreeze?
I had to get it off the internet. Hold on, I have it right here. Oh, here
Wow. I had no idea they still made Seabreeze. Oh my God. So Amy's holding up because Amy and I can see each other on video here.
It's an astringent and it penetrates your pores. And I love, sometimes you just need like a little fresh little acid boost on your face where you,
I always liked the way that smelled too. Does it smell the same?
It's good. It smells very clean. It smells exactly the same.
Did you use 1006?
This is kind of what we used instead.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and we also used Physoderm. It was like a scrubby.
Yeah.
But we would splash water on our face and get all over the bathroom like a dog, and my mom was like, you know what? Let's do the cotton ball and the Seabreeze. You guys are slobs.
Let's control it. Let's control the application process.
And then as far as toothpaste, I would see these commercials where there would be a close-up of the tube making this, me and swirls, like the spray cheese. I love like a swirl.
Right.
So I would try to get on my toothbrush this big log, like the perfect log of toothpaste, like the commercial, and try to brush my teeth, but it would fall off onto my shirt.
Right.
Or fall off in the sink, and there'd be big blobs of it everywhere.
Right. Plus that, because if you put the amount they do on the commercial, that's entirely too much toothpaste. Like you don't need that much toothpaste.
Ever to realize that, yes.
Yeah, we were an Aquafresh household.
Aquafresh?
Yeah, with the stripes. Yeah, that was us.
Oh yeah, the Neapolitan stripes. It was
like red, exactly. It's like
white
Neapolitan
and blue.
Toothpaste.
Pretty cool, actually.
It was fine. It was all right. It was all right.
I always wanted to cut the Aquafresh right down the middle, and like look at the tube. I really want to like.
I might have done that. I might have done that once. I was really, really big on, examining like forensic, forget Stretch Armstrong. My brother and I cut him open because we were like, what is in this thing? It's like purple jelly, if people are wondering. And
oh, that's interesting.
I used to mix up stuff too. Like when I was really little, 6, 7, 8, I kind of had my own bathroom in the house. Like my brother and I had a Jack and Jill bathroom. And so, my mother had no idea I was in there for an hour, like making a mess. And I would mix up stuff. Like I would see what would happen if I poured Listerine and baby powder and 3 squirts of Charlie into a cup. So you made
potions.
Yeah. I was like, oh, what happens if I do this? And then I'd squirt in like toothpaste and, just weird stuff. And I remember when I was little, this is like a real obscure thing, but there were these soaps that were for kids, and they would grow a fuzz on them.
Wow.
Do you remember that? Do you remember those?
What was the brand?
I can't remember. I vaguely recall maybe a Flintstones one, but it was like they you know what? Tell a story while I look this up, because
I remember this one. I think it was by Village, but it was like soaps for dirty kids, and it was like this cat. It was kind of the same people that did the Dudley Shake and Egg. It was like that kind of animation, but there was really cute bath products, Village bath products, and also there was cute Avon bath products. But I really recall loving those bath beads that everybody's grandma had, and I always tried to, like, my friend Erin and I would like smash them as hard as we could so they would burst. And I'd try to poke them with a pencil, and like, they had this little, they're supposed to melt in the bath water, but they would spray all over the place as we try to,
Okay, I found it.
All right.
That was big, right? Like I was into that too. Like you would just wreck things for no reason, or like you'd want to see how much it took to wreck something. Okay, so it's called Fuzzy Wuzzy bath soap. And they were little animals. Like I remember I had this bear.
Animals.
I had the bear. There was a bear and a dog and a cat and something pink. But the ad was, take me home, I grow fur. So you would you would get it wet and then like sit it on the side of your tub, and then it would just grow this fuzz.
That's like,
like fur, and who knows what, like I don't know what it's made of or anything. And then of course there was soap on a rope. Did you have soap on a rope?
I always heard about that. I've never saw it, but I feel like I've heard about it my whole life.
Oh yeah, my dad did. My dad had the Old Spice soap on a rope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and do you remember Silly soap?
Of course.
Right? And it came in like a spray can and in different colors, and it was like spray paint, but it was soap.
Super, super cool.
And you would just make a huge disastrous mess in the bathtub with that stuff.
Okay, I'm looking at your Fuzzy Wuzzy bath soap on Google. It is creepy, guys. It looks like mold.
Yeah, it did look like mildew. But it was part of that whole, the Chia Pet thing and the Sea Monkeys era, where somehow magically, or like the rocks, sea rocks, what do they call those? So, you would like, something would like change phase, like somehow grow hair or, change color or whatever it was. That was a big deal in the 70s.
If I ever got a soap that was shaped like a little bear or anything like that, I would immediately destroy it with a butter knife or a pencil, or try to cut it, or like get a hammer and shatter it, or any shaped soap was just a goner. If it was a perfect sphere, like I would try to destroy it immediately.
I remember going through a phase of soap carving.
I think my mother told me, she's like, go get some ivory soap. She'd buy the ivory because it was inexpensive and you can carve it into something. And I just was not good enough to do so. So I think I just carved my name in it or something. I don't know.
I have a vague recollection of art class. Remember art class where you'd always have to bring stuff? It was like, okay, kids, next week, bring a bar of soap and a smock, and and you'd have your one of your dad's old button downs. That was your smock, and I don't know, a twig or whatever. And then you'd have to show up to class, and then the art teacher would be like, okay, so with the soap, everybody get your soap and your twigs and your stuff, and now we're gonna make this. Guess who always forgot her shit?
Why did you forget your things?
Because, you know what? Because nobody was like, Robbie, remember you have soap today. Like, I would show up and I'd be like, oh, God, I don't have soap. And then I would be the one where the teacher's like, she'd give you that pursed lip frown, and then she'd reach into a bag she brought because she knew there'd be some dumbass kid that forgot their soap, and that was always me.
Oh.
Yep. So, Aim, we are out of time.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Good talk, though.
It was marvelous. It was just marvelous and magnificent. I loved it.
Yeah. Before we go, I just want to touch on one thing. So let's pick 9th grade. 9th grade, you wake up in the morning. What's your routine? What's your grooming dressing routine?
I had a big old school dressing table with like pictures of old movie stars on it and like a red ribbon, and I was all glamorous, and I just put on all my makeup.
I love that.
And I was in 9th grade. It was 87, 88. So I had like the puppy dog wings coming off both sides of my head. I had big bangs, tons of eyeshadow, tons of mascara, tons of all makeup products. I was probably listening to Motley Crue in the background. Didn't really go with my dressing table. It was kind of the exact opposite. But I put on my records, and I put on tons of makeup, and I'd go eat a Pop-Tart, and that was it.
Well, okay, so we're for reals out of time, but I just wanted to cover that morning routine one more time. So I'm Robbie-Ann McPherson, author. I wrote a novel called Taking Liberty. It's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. That's McLickens, my cat, meowing in the background. And out in California, Amy, why don't you tell them all about your books?
My name is Amy Asbury. I am the author of The Sunset Strip Diaries and Confetti Covered Quicksand, which are about the late 80s, early 90s, and also Once Upon the 80s, a fiction book, which is very detailed if you want to take a little ride back to the 80s, and a couple of other books. You can Google me and check me out if you'd like.
Yeah, thank you so much, you guys, for listening. We will see you next time.
Bye, everybody.